Hey folks, this is a little mini lesson for 3.7 AB, especially those of you working through the independent study. All right, some basic things you need to know about slopes and lines. First of all, if you have a line that is going in these directions here, these are all positive slopes, okay? If they're going in this direction, they're all going to be negative slopes. The way most kids remember it is this stupid what's that guy called, Tara? Slope dude who has this little guy skiing up a hill and he's going, it's puff, puff, positive because he's working real hard. And then when he's going down over here, it's nice, negative. So you can put a little snow on the mountain cap here. You can think about that. Puff, puff, positives, nice, negatives. Those would be all negative slopes. Next thing you need to know is about y-intercept. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Right here, this point here is at 0, -1. That's where the y-intercept is. This y-intercept is at 0, 0, the origin. This one here is 0, 1. This is at 0, 2. And this one here is at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is at 0, 4. Okay? Likewise, these also have y-intercepts. Same thing, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 1, 2, 3. This would be 0, 3. But these lines all have negative slopes. So here's what we've learned. We've learned that y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. If it's going in this direction, it's going to be a positive slope. If it goes in this direction, it's a negative slope. One more thing I'm going to throw at you. When we look at something like y equals x plus 1, I can tell a lot about that. I can tell that this line is positive because that x is positive. So it's going to be going puff, puff, positive like that. I can also tell that the y-intercept, it's going to cross the y-axis at 0, 1. 0, 1, right here. So this line is going to cross through here, where I'm putting my pen mark. This is probably that line right there, all right? Because when we make a table for this, for x and y, and we put 0, 1, and 2 in, and just graph some points here, 0 plus 1 is 1. So when x is 0, y is 1. And here, there's that coordinates, 0, 1. Those are the coordinates. All right, put in 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I could graph these and see how close I came. See, it's 1, 2, over 1, up 2. Look at it, I nailed it. Not bad. Over 2, up 3. So I've graphed that line pretty carefully there. All right, we're going to use this information now to work on this sheet here, which is kind of difficult. All right, so looking at this first line, is this going to be a positive slope or a negative slope? Well, it's going this direction, so it's going to be a negative slope. So this is going to look something like this. It's going to be y equals something x, and it's going to be negative, and it's going to be, let's see, where does it go through the y-axis? At 0, -1. So this is going to be -1. Okay, now I got to fold back here so we can take a look at some of these things here. Okay, so we're looking for something with a negative slope, a negative x, and a -1. So here's our equation sheet from the back side of your page here. And let's just look for something with negative x and a -1. Okay, so here's a negative x, -1. And let's see, is there another one? Negative x -1. Here's a negative x -1. See any other negative x? These are positive x, positive x, positive. Here's a negative x, but there's no -1. Here's a negative x, but it's -2. So that's not going to work. Here's a negative x, but it's +1, so that's not going to work. So it's one of these two equations. So let me just fold this sheet here so we can kind of look at this. Put it up there, and we'll just kind of figure it out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a quick little table and see if I can figure this out. Let's look at my points. We know that x and y here, We know that this is 0 and negative 1 because we've already established that. Let's graph another point. We'll go over, my next point looks like over 2, down 2. So over 2 and then negative 2. And then this is a pretty good point too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we go over 4 and down 3. So let's take a look and see which one of those works. Does this one work? Negative 2x minus 1. So let's just think about this and grab a little piece of scratch paper here. And let's put that in there. Well, if it was a negative 2x, if I put the 2 in there, 2 times, got a negative 2 times 2, that's going to be negative 4. And then if I subtract the 1, that's going to be negative 5. It's supposed to be negative 2. So it can't be that guy there. All right? So let's try this other one here. Cross this guy off. Let's try negative 1/2 x. Negative 1/2 x minus 1. So let's put 2 in there. So negative 1/2 of 2. Well, what's 1/2 of 2? 1/2 of 2 is 1. So this would be 1. And it's going to be negative. And then I have to subtract 1. Well, that's going to be negative 2. And that's what it's supposed to be. Let's try this other one here. Cross this off. And we're going to take and put in 4. So now we've got negative 1/2 of 4. Well, what's 1/2 of 4? 1/2 of 4 is 2, and it's going to be negative because it's a negative half, so it's a negative 2. And if we subtract 1, it's going to be a negative 3. And that's what we had, 4 and negative 3. So this is it. This is negative 1/2 x minus 1. And you can work through and learn so much about these. Just take a look at some of these ones. This here is going to be y is equal to something positive x, and look at it, it's at 0, 2. This is going to be plus 2. This one here, it goes right through the center. So this is going to be something like 2x or 3x or 4x. But because it's like this, it's negative, it's going to be negative 2x or negative 3x or negative x, something like that. Okay, those are some great tips that should help you as you work through this worksheet, 3.7 AB. Good luck. Hope you learned something about slope, dude. Remember, puff, puff, positive. Nice, negative. And then we've got y-intercept, which is where it crosses the y-axis. And remember, the x will always be 0 for that. Thanks. Have a great day.